Hey guys, you're here with Goran from Pick Dawgz, and I have some exciting news. Serie A is back, guys, and we are kicking it off on Wednesday. So make sure you subscribe to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. There's a lot more games to come, and of course, leave a comment under the video. Check out my premium section up on the Pickdawgz website. There's a link in the description, guys. See if there's anything you like up there. And of course, stay tuned for more free picks. There's a lot more games to come. Bundesliga starting pretty soon. And in no time, the Champions League will be back with some knockouts. But to start Serie A on Wednesday, guys, January 4th, we have a full slate, 10 games, 20 teams going at it. And we'll see if some teams can continue their great form. Which they had before the World Cup. We'll see if some teams can start playing better, if some teams can get out of the relegation zone. Should be an exciting second half of the season in Serie A. But we are kicking it off with this Salernitana versus AC Milan matchup, guys. It's actually a 6:30 a.m. game. We have, I think, 6 morning games and 4 afternoon games, but this Salernitana against Milan should be a fun game because Milan is trying to keep up with Napoli, who is at the top of the table, while Milan is in second place with 33 points. Offensively, they have done a solid job, averaging almost 2 scored goals per game, conceding 1 on average, and Salernitana, I believe they are a solid team. They had solid defensive performances. Their offense is not amongst the best, but still scoring a decent amount of goals, 19 in those 15 games. And that is basically what kept them out of the relegation zone so far. I don't think they will need much more work to stay in Serie A for another season because the bottom 3 teams are at least 10 points away from them. And I dare saying that Salernitana will stay in Serie A for at least another season. As far as this matchup goes, I think that Milan has a lot more to lose in this one. So in their friendly games, they haven't done a good job. So I think they would like to start this first competitive game back on a positive note. And for that reason, guys, I'm going to take Milan to win and over 2.5 goals. Plus 118. We had to do something to get that more value out of this game because Milan is minus 205 favorites. So I'm taking Milan to win and over 2.5 goals, seeing how both defenses will probably be a bit sloppy and slow with this being the first game back. Second game of the day, guys, is between Sassuolo and Sampdoria, 2 teams that were in kind of a bad form before the World Cup. They were waiting for that break. They were trying to regroup themselves. And this is a very good spot for both of these teams because I think that both of them see this game as a potential win, especially Sampdoria, the team that hasn't done much in that attacking end. They're the weakest offensive team with only 6 scored goals in 50 Serie A games, and they will have to shake that off. They will have to start playing better if they want to stay in the league because they are now in 19th place with only 6 points, which is 7 points less than Spezia, who are just outside the relegation zone. Sassuolo, on the other side, is a bit further up. They are in 15th place. They have done a better job offensively. They have done a better job defensively as well. And overall, they are the better team here. But like I said, Sampdoria will have to do something. They will have to come out flying. They will have to create more chances in this game. And for that reason, I think that they will do everything they can to get on the scoreboard. And with Sassuolo's shaky defense, I think they do. So my pick for this one, guys, is both teams to score. Minus 118, I think it's a great price for this 2 struggling teams. So Sassuolo, Sampdoria, both teams to score for me. Third game of the day is Serie A, guys, is between Spezia and Atalanta. Atalanta had an excellent start to the season. They were very close to the top of the table. And they are still fairly close. They're now in 6th place. Still within the range of the Champions League. However, they were struggling a lot just before the World Cup. They haven't won any of their last 3 Serie A games, and that's kind of what knocked them down. But they're now facing Spezia, the team that has won only 2 games at home this season, and the team that doesn't have a lot of depth or a lot of quality for that matter. So I think that Atalanta is the clear favorite here. I think they have a lot more quality. I think they have a lot more depth. And they have done a much better job on the road than Spezia has at home so far this season. So I gotta side with Atalanta here. I know that the moneyline price, I would love to see that a little bit more closer to even money, but sometimes we just have to bite the bullet and we gotta side with the better team no matter the price. So Atalanta on the moneyline at -141, that's my pick for this one. Torino and Verona, guys, are clashing at, I believe that's a 10:30 a.m. game. Actually, it's 8:30 a.m. game, and I think it's gonna be a good one, at least for Torino, because Verona, they have been struggling a lot this season. They are at the bottom of the table, only 5 points, and I think that they are one of those teams that's gonna get relegated for sure. They just, overall, they're not doing a good enough job. Even though it seems like that offensively they are better than most of the teams in the relegation zone, but then when it comes to defending, they just don't do a good enough job. And when you go against a team like Torino, the team that's capable of playing outstanding defense, and then the team that's capable of scoring goal at any minute, even though they're not scoring a lot, only 16 goals in 15 games at home, they have been absolutely brilliant so far. They have been beating some of the top teams, some of the strong teams, and they have conceded only 4 goals so far at home this season. And when you have a team like Verona, the team that's struggling with scoring goals, especially on the road, I just don't see them having a shot here. So this one was very simple for me, guys. Torino on the money line at home at -129. I think this is the gift from the books, and I'm gonna take advantage of it. The next game we have is between Lecce and Lazio, and that was the one where I actually was kind of struggling of what to pick, because you're giving us plus money on Lazio, the team that is better than Lecce in every aspect, the team that has had so far a very successful season. They are in pretty high 4th place with 30 points. The team that's been scoring a lot of goals against the team that has been kind of struggling defensively so far this season. And even though they are outside the relegation zone right now, it's going to take a bit more from Lecce to stay outside the relegation zone. And honestly, I'm not sure they can get it against Lazio. So I'm hoping that Lecce can step up to the plate a little bit here and they can score a goal, because I'm going with both teams to score at -103 in this one. The price on Lazio dropped to +105. Which means that the books are getting some money on Lazio moneyline. I'm going to stay away from the public, and I'm going to take both teams to score in this one at -103, hoping that Lecce can do something at home in this game, because they do need it. Next one, we have Roma hosting Bologna, guys. Bologna has done a very good job so far. They were in a very good form before the World Cup, but we'll see if they can keep that going. They are huge underdogs against Roma here. I'm not sure Roma deserves to be such a big favorites. I know that they are the better team. I know they have more quality, but offensively, they have scored only 18 goals in 15 games. And it's actually their defense that is keeping them in the top, well, not in the top half of the table, but it's their defense that's keeping them close to the Europa League and even the Champions League zone. Like I said, many teams haven't played a competitive games since before the World Cup, and that is definitely going to be a factor in most of these games. But I'm hoping that Bologna can keep their form alive since before the World Cup, because they had a few friendly games during the World Cup and after, and they have won all 3 games. They have scored goals. They have been scoring goals consistently, and I think that Roma will be the team that's going to be struggling in this game. So this is another game where I'm going to go with both teams to score instead of choosing the side. Plus 102, nice plus money. I just don't think that Roma has what it takes to defend at the moment, or at least to keep a clean sheet. So both teams to score between this Roma and Bologna matchup for me, guys. Next one, we have game between Cremonese and Juventus. Juventus actually, for most of the season, they haven't looked like a good team, to be honest. But they are actually one of the best defensive teams in the league. Well, not one of the best defensive team in the league by far, with only 7 conceded goals in 15 games while scoring 24. And now they're in third place, which is the Champions League spot, and they're getting closer to AC Milan in that second place. And who knows, with a bit of luck, they might even engage into the title battle with Napoli, but they will have to wait a little bit more for that. Cremonese on the other side, the team that is fighting to stay outside the relegation zone, the team that is fighting to stay in Serie A for at least another season. They are now 6 points away from safety. They are scoring 11 goals in 15 games. I mean, they are better than most of the teams in the relegation zone. They are better than most of the teams who are trying to stay away from the relegation zone. But their defense has simply not been good enough this season. And 26 conceded goals in 5 games, in 15 games, sorry, might be good. Might be good enough to stay outside the relegation zone, but first they gotta get there, and they gotta get their offense going, because that's something they will definitely need for the rest of the season. Like I said, Juventus is the best defensive team in the league here, and I simply don't see Cremonese being capable of scoring goals. I don't think they're good enough to score a goal against Juventus. If you want plus money, take Juventus to win 2-0, but I'm gonna stick to Juventus on the money line, guys, at minus 150 here. That price is good enough for me, and since, like I said, neither of these teams have played a competitive game since before the World Cup, I'm being a bit cautious here, and I'm taking Juventus on the money line at minus 150, guys. And we have a few more games, guys. The 3 afternoon games alongside this one. I'm taking Fiorentina and Monza. This should be a fairly interesting matchup, because Monza is actually doing a very good job so far this season, and they are now outside the relegation zone. They have been pretty much hot and cold. We lose, we lose, we lose. And Fiorentina has been anything but consistent this season. Yes, they have won 3 out of 4, actually 4 out of 5 of the friendly games they played during the break, but in Serie A, they haven't done that good of a job so far, and I'm not sure what their ambitions are, but they are far away from the Europa League, far away from the Conference League, and I think they'll have to be happy with staying somewhere in the middle of the table, maybe 8th, 9th, 10th place, which is where they are right now. So I think that as long as they stay far away from the relegation zone, I think they will be satisfied with their season. As far as Monza goes, I think that their only goal before this season was to stay in Serie A for at least another season after this, and I think that they have accomplished that already, because they are now in 14th place with 16 points, which is 7 points away from Cremonese in that 18th place, which is the relegation zone. But seeing how well they have played so far this season, I think that the appetites rise, and with that, I think that Monza might try to do a little bit more this season and try to climb the standings a little bit further up. So I'm gonna go with both teams to score in this one as well, guys. I might even add over 2.5 goals, but I'm gonna stick with both teams to score. I just don't think that either of these two teams has a defense good enough to keep a clean sheet here, and for that reason, I'm taking both teams to score in this one as well, guys. And we are coming to the big one, the big matchup of the day, guys, between Inter and Napoli. Two teams fighting for the title. Well, it's mostly Napoli defending the top spot that they are in right now, because they have been absolutely outstanding so far this season, while Inter is the team trying to kind of close the gap between them and the team that's trying to get back into the Champions League zone, because Inter is now in 5th place with 30 points, which is the same as Lazio has in 4th place, and only 3 points less than Milan in that 2nd place. Defensively, Inter has been very shaky this season, and that has been their problem in this first 15 games, because they have conceded 22 goals in 15 games, which is more than they did last season in the same period. The good news for them is that they have the offense to kind of compensate for that. And we'll see if they can keep that offense going, because they will definitely need it for the rest of the season. As far as Napoli goes, like I said, guys, at the top of the table with 41 points, the best offensive team in the league with 37 scored goals. one of the best defensive teams with only 12 conceded goals, and the team that actually looks very mature right now, the team that looks like they have everything they need to get the title, and I for one would love to see Napoli getting that title. As far as this game goes, I'm not sure. Like I said in one of the previous picks, neither of these teams have played a competitive game in a while, and with that, I think their defenses will be a bit shaky. I think that there will be some confusion, and in those cases, I give the advantage to the offense. So I'm going with both teams to score and over 2.5 in this one at minus 114. I think that both teams will try to attack and get a positive outcome out of this game, and for that reason, I think we see enough chances to get both teams to score and to get us over 2.5 goals in this one. And guys, the final game of the day in Serie A is between Udinese and Empoli. Should be a fun game because Udinese has done a very good job so far this season. They have been very competitive for most of it. Towards the end of the first half, they kind of started to slow down. They lost the momentum they had, but still they are in 8th place with 24 points. A very good season so far for them. I think that they're even fairly close to the Conference League spot or the Europa League spot, and if they can focus up a little bit more, try to get that form back, I think that they are definitely good enough to compete for that Conference League spot or possibly even the Europa League spot. Defensively, they have been solid with only 17 conceded goals, 24 scored goals, and now against Empoli at home, I think that Udinese deserves to be the favorite they are. And I'm going to take that price. I'm going to take Udinese to win at minus 157. I think they're the better team with more depth and more offense, which I think is going to be crucial for this game. So Udinese to win at home, minus 157. That's my pick for this final game of the Serie A slate on Wednesday, guys. That's it. Thank you for joining me here. Like I said, guys, full slate of Serie A games. 10 games, 20 teams going at it. It should be a fun day in Italy, starting from 6:30 a.m. all the way until 2:45 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you check out this free picks. Get your winners, guys. Subscribe to the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel. Leave a comment below. And of course, check out my previous section up on the Pickdawgz website and get one of those passes that I have up there. That's it, guys. Thank you for joining me once again. And like I said, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you soon.